Some early potential transfer news for Newcastle United as 23-year-old promising winger Emile Smith-Rowe is touted as being Newcastle United's next transfer target. This is reported by Scott Wilson of the Northern Echo. Let's get into why Emile Smith-Rowe could be a good buy for Newcastle United, why he may be a bad buy with his injury record and all sorts of things. Let's get straight into what's been said. Now, like I say, none of this is coming from me, as no news will ever come from me. I don't ever get any sources. I don't claim to be a reporter. I just like kind of making videos and expressing and hearing your guys' thoughts, and we'll talk about football as discussion. This is what I love to do. Let's take a look at what Scott Wilson from the Northern Echoes also said. Now, it's understood that Emile Smith-Rowe has already been discussed with Newcastle's recruitment team as a potential target with his lack of game time at Arsenal this season, potentially opening the door for a transfer. Now, we may know that that lack of game time for Emile Smith-Rowe isn't just because Martinelli and Saka's better than, and of course, if you take it into that perspective, do we really want players from teams who we are trying to be better than, that aren't good enough for them? Do you know what I mean? Like, Saka and Martinelli do play over him, or Kai Havertz plays over him in that left centre mid role from the 4-3-3 formation that they play in. Do we want these kind of players? Yes, he's got bags of potential, which is what we're going to talk about in this video, but if we want to really go to that next level, I think we could look elsewhere. But nevertheless, let's get straight into the rest of the video. Like we were just on about there, Emile Smith-Rowe doesn't really get enough game time at Arsenal. He barely starts, and when he does come on, he comes on for Kai Havertz, as mentioned, at left centre mid. He doesn't just play because of competition, good squad depth. His injury record is pretty bad. This is what we all thought about Tino Livramento when he's come. He's been absolutely fantastic. We've not had a single injury worry yet. But with Emile Smith-Rowe, it is pretty worrying. Let's look at the exact statistics now. Smith-Rowe suffered 7 injuries in his 5 senior years with Arsenal Football Club, keeping him out for a total of 334 days. And he also experienced an injury when he was on loan for his first ever move away from the club at RB Leipzig. I think that kept him out for a certain 21 days, I think it was. Only missed about 4 games, but yeah, 333 days, in 5 years. That is mental. He seemed to be injured all the time. Yeah, the game with Tino Livramento, we had with thoughts 40 million for a kid who's always injured. He's been absolutely fantastic. You know, I'll never ever slate an Eddie Howe signing. If Eddie Howe buys someone, he knows exactly what he's doing. Our medical staff have improved so much. But I don't know, it always with injuries, it always is a risk. Arsenal value Emile Smith-Rowe at £50 million, which for me, that is pretty absurd, especially when you take the injury record into account. We could look absolutely elsewhere. Just a couple of names to mention. I think his name is El Wahi. I might be completely off the topic there, but Wahi from Lens, who used to play for Montpellier, he's a very good talent. I don't think he'd be anywhere near £50 million, but that's just off the top of my head. Of course, there's going to be players with much more talent without an injury record for less than £50 million. However, if Newcastle did want to go ahead and buy Emile Smith-Rowe, more importantly, if Eddie Howe wanted him, I don't believe that they would go for a straight up £50 million or even try to bargain that. I think they do what they've done with Lewis Hall. They would go for a loan and then an obligation to buy, just suffer it down over the years, and even then, once we get more money from Champions League games, etc., from placing in the Premier League, then we get to spend more money from FFP, and even outgoings as well. We could see the likes of Lascelles out the door, Kraft out the door for a couple of £1 million. But now on to the actual player himself. Like we've just said, he's very versatile. He can play as an 8, which is his normal position, can play as a 10. We've seen him there in the youth leagues, and can play as a winger as well. Emile Smith-Rowe is a 23-year-old with unreal amount of potential on him. But can he utilise that? He's never broke into the Arsenal squad 100%. For me, when I watch him, he's not a player that, he doesn't come on and change the game drastically. I don't understand the style of football he plays. I've always thought that I don't know, he is, bearing in mind, he is a very, very good footballer. Of course, I'd like to have him at Newcastle United if I could, I would happily have him on the bench and then bring him on when we need, or even play him right wing, which, of course, is probably one of our weakest spots at the moment. But is he going to be a game changer for Newcastle United? Is Emile Smith-Rowe going to be the lad that, brings us to that next level? If he does come, by all means, I want to be proved wrong, but right now I can't really see that happening, especially with his injury record. I know our medical staff has improved a lot, like with Tino Livramento. He's only been here a short space of time, but we've not heard of anything bad yet, have we? But will Emile Smith-Rowe be that game changer for Newcastle? That is the big question, in my opinion. I don't believe he's a generational talent or someone to utilise us to the next level. We need a prolific winger, in my opinion. Harvey Barnes, yet again, he's a dangerous winger. He can cut on that left-hand side, scream on with his right foot. But I don't believe he's prolific enough. I really don't. In your opinion, as we're going to wrap up the video, do you believe Emile Smith-Rowe can nevertheless sign for Newcastle? If he did, if he didn't, but would he bring us to that next level, and would you buy him if you were Eddie Howe? Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button. If you haven't already and you don't know who I am, I'm Geordie Josh. I give daily content on Newcastle United on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. All of my socials are in the description. Go give them a follow, and yet again, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Geordie Josh. Go and enjoy your day.